All right, today we're looking at 7.4 day 3. We're still looking at the sine and cosine ratios. So right off the bat, what does SOHCAHTOA help you remember? Of course, the three primary trigonometric ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent. Okay. Just as a recap for some of you, sine is opposite over hypotenuse, cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay, so now you should know those off by heart, or know at least the acronym SOHCAHTOA off by heart. All right, so knowledge. I'm going to let you do this first section on your own, but I will help you just quickly to get an understanding of what exactly I'm looking for. So very simply, for example, the hypotenuse. If you look at number 9 here, number 9 says hypotenuse. We know the hypotenuse is r. So here I would put number 9 next to r because r is the hypotenuse. Okay. I could look at the Pythagorean, for example. I might look at r squared equal p squared plus q squared, and that would be Pythagorean. So I'd say that's number 6. You're going to fill in the rest of these and basically match up the numbers to the letters. Okay, so work on that in a second, or when we're done here. What is the cosine of angle A? So I just gone ahead and labeled angle A theta. What is the cosine? We know cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So in that case, the adjacent to here is AC, and the hypotenuse obviously is AB. So adjacent over hypotenuse is AC over AB. Therefore, this has to be A. All right, if BC equal 48, if BC is 48 centimeters, and you have to break down this question, sine of angle CAB. So I called CAB theta, just so to highlight that, is 0.96. What is the length of AC? Again, you have to unpack this question at first glance on your own without looking at what I've written here. Without looking at what I've written, it could be a little bit daunting, but just break down what you know. So I've labeled AC, that's what we're looking for. I've labeled it B because opposite uppercase B, angle B, is side length lowercase b. Just like opposite capital or uppercase letter C, the hypotenuse here would be lowercase c. And same thing with angle A, we know angle A is 48. Angle theta is A, and this opposite is side length A, and this is 48 centimeters. Okay, so we told BC is 48 centimeters, so I've put that in. Now I need to break down this part of the question. CAB, the sine of that angle, okay, and the angle we're talking about is in the middle because we're following what the letters say, CAB. So therefore we're talking about that angle there. If we follow that, and we know it's 0.96, what you have to remember is that sine, if you just look here what I've written in this box here, sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. So we know the opposite of that, which is 48, over the hypotenuse has a ratio of 0.96. And then I just filled in here in the second part what I know. I know that sine theta, well, the opposite of that angle is 48 centimeters. So I've subbed in, you'll see here, I put 48 centimeters for the numerator, opposite. And the hypotenuse is just lowercase letter c, and I don't know what that is. So opposite over hypotenuse, but 48 divided by c is 0.96. Now, in terms of using some common sense here, think of it as a test mark. 48 out of something is 0.96, almost like 96%, right? So that number has to be somewhat close to, 48 divided by 48 would equal 1, right? So this number that we're getting to is almost 1, it's 0.96. What does that mean? It means the denominator has to be a little bit bigger because it's not quite yet 1. And obviously if the denominator were smaller, right, you can't have 48 divided by 47 because then you'd have 1 point something. 47 goes into 48, 1 point something. So it can't be that. So we know the denominator has to be a little bit bigger. We're almost at around 48. How do I figure that out? Well, that's as simple as cross multiplication. So first of all, you know this actually from elementary school, from about grade 7. You learned about, grade 2 and 3 even. You may have learned about fact families. We know 48 divided by c equals 0.96. Think of a simpler example. 6 divided by 3 equal 2. Okay? Or actually, in this case, I might say 6 divided by something. I'll just put a question mark. 6 divided by something is 2. Well, if 6 divided by something is 2, then 2 times that something has to equal 6 because they're a fact family. In this case, 48 divided by C is equal to 0.96, or 0.96 times C has to equal 48. Okay. Armed with that information, this should be, this should be pretty simple. But we can also use a simple strategy, of cross multiplication. So if I know 48 over C equals 0.96, I can cross multiply that, and I could just say that 48 times 1, which is 48, equal 0.96 C. Then I'll divide both sides by 0.96, and we'll get C equal, should be 50 if I do this correctly, 48 divided by 0.96, and that's 50. So 50 equals C. So now I can go ahead and relabel my diagram here. I know that C is equal to 50. Oops, wrong diagram. I know that C is equal to 50, so let me add that in here. Great. Now there are two ways you can answer the question. What is the length of AC? Well, I could use the Pythagorean theorem. I know 50 squared, that is the C, so I could say 50 squared minus 48 squared equal, I'll call it B squared, because side length AC is labeled B. That's very quick and easy. You can also use the tangent ratio. You can say tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent equal 48. Sorry, I apologize. Tan theta is not going to help us in this case. Let's erase that. So what we want to look at is you have, let me erase that as well. You have the opposite of angle theta and you have the hypotenuse, but you want to be able to find the adjacent. So what could we do to help ourselves here? How can we find this angle measure? So again, Pythagorean theorem is quick and easy to find the side length. How else? I want you to think of one other way that you can do this using the primary trigonometric ratios. What else could you do to help yourself out? So you look at that. When all else fails, use the Pythagorean theorem, and I'll let you figure out that last answer on your own. All right, and we'll see you in class. So finish that and this as well. Thanks.